Over the weekend, I got my first puppy returned. It's a Fiona litter mate, actually. It looks a lot like her. Acts a lot like her. For a second, he's tangled in his leash. So he was having problems the owners couldn't handle with dog and car reactivity, and they emailed me back in June or July about it. Giving them some recommendations. They were working with a trainer, but it just got to be too much. So I gave him back. Kind of right now, he's sort of on a trial. He's not 100% given back. I'm trying to see if they'll be able to take him back and handle him. And just with I've had him for 2 days now, and just with my couple days of work, that's nasty. Don't do that. Ew. Just with my couple days of work, I think he can go back. I don't think he's that bad. I think they'll be able to handle him. It's just gonna take them some learning. Maybe they need to go to some reactive dog seminars or something, and I think he'll be a great dog for him. And they've done a phenomenal job with him. Otherwise, he's a really well-behaved dog, really attentive, really well-trained. So that makes my job easier, trying to get him back to where they can take him. He's so attentive. He listens to little voice corrections most of the time. I feel. So what I'm doing basically is getting him introduced to all our dogs to begin with, because we have 14 dogs to introduce him to. Hey. And just not introducing him like you're going to play with them. That's not the point, because it's not going to be what they're dealing with. It's going to be just dogs on the sidewalk, dogs walking past. So, yeah, it's just relax around other dogs. Don't worry about it. They don't mean anything to you. However, I think he's racist. I don't know if you can see if you saw on video there, he's been trying to sniff Fiona and just hanging around her the whole time. He hasn't had it. Well, when he came, he was having a problem with her, but can you get off of me, please? He was way wound up and he was pulling in his harness, and I need to talk to owners about that, because the harness pulling is a really bad thing. But since then, he hasn't had any trouble with Fiona or Ginger. So I don't know. Obviously, Fiona's his sister, Ginger's his mom. I don't know if he actually remembers something about him, or if he's racist, breedist. So we'll see, because this morning I'm going to introduce him to Molly. And he probably met Molly when he was a puppy, but it wasn't like a litter mate or a mom, so I would doubt he would have any connection to her. But she's a border collie, so we'll see if he's actually racist or not. And it's actually a pretty common thing, believe it or not, because just the different energies and the different way they interact and stuff, they can pick up on that. It's not, they don't look at, the breed, but the personalities within the breed that they prefer over one over the other. As you can see, he's completely fine with Fiona here. So, if I think he's focusing a little too hard, I'm just going to interrupt him, and you see, like right there, just a finger snap will do it. Yeah, you're a good boy. He's so sweet. He's just like Fiona. Aren't she? Isn't she? Yeah. So right now I'm running him on a prong. Hey, stop it. I'm running him on a prong. He's been introduced, other than Ginger and Fiona, he's been introduced to 2 other dogs already. And he had a reaction at both dogs, so I've got the prong on still, so I have more control over him. I'll switch to the flat collar as fast as I can, but then I will also switch to a e-collar, so we can do off-leash recalls and stuff like that, because they're going to need those too, so get them all ready to do that. Do you see yourself in the window? It's not that cool, beating a tattoo on the wall with your tail. And do you see me in the window? That's pretty cool. Yeah, it is. Well, I tried recording a bunch of stuff showing how Scout's doing and what I was doing with him, just on the farm here. But my microphone setting was off, so you can't hear a word I say. So whatever. But he's doing really good on the farm. I took him to town then before I talked to the owners again and found out his true colors. By no means unfixable, but found out it's a lot worse than he shows on the farm. So I called him and told him what we could do, and that I would, help train him for this much. And so I called him and told him what I thought and how we could help train him. And I was about taking an online course that I've been wanting to take anyway, but I haven't really had a reason to because I don't have reactive dogs. So, but I said, you could take the course yourself too if I can take it. But anyway, and I kind of told him what it was going to take as far as long term, how they're going to have to handle and stuff, and different tools that they use in that course that he was going to be on if I was the one that trained him. And they emailed back later and said they're giving him up for good. So he's fine for now. After I get him fixed, we'll see what direction I go with him. I took him to town today, and he did really good in Home Depot. There was no dogs in Home Depot though. He's really attentive and really focused on me. And he gets distracted, of course, but for only knowing me for a few days, he's got more focus than Fiona does. Fiona's a scatterbrain. So he did really good, and then went outside Coastal and got some work around cars and things and saw a couple dogs from a distance. And yeah, he's definitely got a pretty big problem with dogs, but we'll get over it. And I did start the course too, so we'll see. How will they help me? In other news, here's a more sweet reunion than Scout's was. I got my Kismet puppy back. I had to bring the whole litter down there because I switched my spot in the order of picking, so I wasn't picking first. And so I bring the whole litter down there so that other people could pick. But I ended up with, well, I was still debating. I kind of think the smooth coat was a better pup personality-wise, but not by a whole lot. But this one's obviously a rough coat, so I prefer those. So I really hadn't decided. But anyway, I ended up with her. But she lost all her cute puppy fuzz. And Brittany said the other night, Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair, so she wasn't very fuzzy, was she? Anyway, it'll come back though. She's a really good pup. A little whiny, but she's not real barky or anything. She's really nice. Hi, Candy. Her name is Candy. Fluffy Stuff. Her registered name is Fluffy Stuff, and Fluffy Stuff's a brand of cotton candy, so her name is Candy, because she's that sweet. And you pick her up just like now, and she just snuggles right in. Yeah, she's such a good girl. She's so sweet.